All right, so we got a spicy one here for you. This is in ABC News, one of the local affiliates. Pro-Palestine protesters interrupt Philadelphia Pride March. Quote, no pride in genocide. Okay, so we have a picture of it here. And I believe we have a video. Now, this guy's a right-wing influencer, Jack Posobiec, so understand, I'm sure there's an element of trying to do a little bit of divide and conquer in here, but let's watch some of the video, and then we'll break it down. So these people, the ones who are like playing the drums and whatnot, they're with the Pride Parade, and then the people here facing the other direction, you can see one of them's wearing a keffiyeh here. These are the pro-Palestine protesters. That's the no pride in genocide flag. Okay. You ready for this? I got a nuclear take for you. I got a scorching hot take for you. I hope you're ready. I hope you're sitting. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, bro. I really do. I want you to know this is speculation. I want you to know I have zero evidence for this. But I also want you to know this is my opinion and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You ready? Feds. I said it. I said it. Because I can't wrap my mind around anybody being this fucking stupid. I can't wrap my mind. I don't think there's any pro-Palestine protesters out there that are this colossally moronic. Of all of the targets in the world, of all of the targets, you're going to settle on a Philadelphia Pride March? A grand total of none of the people in the Philly Pride March are members of the IDF. Literally none of them. You could protest the IDF. You could protest the Israeli government. You could protest the U.S. government. You could protest White House staffers. You could protest Joe Biden himself. You could protest weapons manufacturers. You could protest businesses that have, connections to the illegally occupied territories in Israel. Businesses that do deals with Israel. Embassies of places that are buddy-buddy with Israel, allies with Israel. There's like a list of 189 things you can and should protest before a fucking Pride March. And so when I look at this, it just doesn't add up. Something smells fishy. And I think what's going on here is somebody infiltrated one of those groups, a fucking Fed, and they convinced them, yeah, let's go protest. Let me bring these pro-Palestine protesters. We're going to go protest a Pride March. And we're going to do like a divide and conquer type strategy. I'm convinced of that. Now, by the way, would you like more evidence to that conclusion? Again, I'm just giving my opinion here, but I truly believe this. Look at this part. The Philadelphia Pride March coincided with a parade celebrating and supporting Israel in New York City, where some pro-Palestine protesters met attendees with signs reading, "Kill hostages now," and "End Israel apartheid." So, "End Israel apartheid," I have no doubt that's a real pro-Palestine protesters. "Kill hostages now." Look, I'm sorry. I guarantee you. I think it's this one. It may not be this one, but I guarantee you there are agent provocateurs out there who are trying to infiltrate and have infiltrated pro-Palestine movements, and they are purposefully trying to make them look dumb. They are purposefully trying to make them look bad. They are purposefully trying to make them look like terrorist supporters and Hamas lovers. That's the only way you'd get a "kill hostages now" sign. So I know it's a nuclear hot take, but that's truly where I am. I just can't fathom that there's a group of pro-Palestine protesters who sat around and said, yeah, I got it. Let's go protest a fucking Pride March. Let's go protest a Pride March. Because you already know the knock on pro-Palestine protesters in this country. The knock is, oh, well, you actually support Hamas, which means by extension, you actually hate gay people and women, and you're actually like stealth Islamists. And of course, the reaction from people like myself and many others is, most of the people who are pro-Palestine supporters are lefties. They are lefties. They're also massively pro-gay rights, massively pro-women's rights. They're not in favor of fundamentalist Islam or any other fundamentalist religion. So I think it's a total fucking Straw man. And this sort of thing would feed into that bogus narrative, which again, if you connect the dots, you start to think, agent provocateurs? Look, we've seen it before with other protests. We've seen it before with other protest movements. We've covered it with other protest movements. I'm sure there's some of that fuckery going on. Because you undermine these movements, you make them look bad, you try to turn off normie Americans to it, when the bottom line is, every single real pro-Palestine activist I've seen, their main thing is end the fucking genocide. End the genocide. And usually people who are reasonable enough to say, I'm humanitarian and I want to end the mass slaughter of women and children and innocent civilians, those are not the same people who are going to come up with a dumbass idea like, yeah, let's target the power center of a fucking Philly Pride March. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And by the way, this kind of gave me a little bit of an awakening, an enlightenment moment, if you will. It makes me think more about, those protests that I've criticized in the past, like the climate justice protests where they go to like a museum and ruin a historic painting or something like that. And I criticize that, right? I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Now, the more I look back and think about it, the more I'm like, that feels like feds, doesn't it? And look, before you say, hey, Kyle, you're crazy, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, etc. How many years did it take before we learned, for example, that you had feds infiltrating the civil rights movement and you had the FBI sending MLK a letter that said, hey, you should fucking kill yourself and we know what you're doing. We know you're cheating on your wife. We know you're a bad guy. I think most people would have found it inconceivable that something like that was happening. Somebody like Martin Luther King, who was so obviously on the right side of something, right? Well, now everybody celebrates MLK Day and all of society loves him and even the establishment loves him and he's held up as a beacon and a symbol of freedom and justice and honor and integrity and all these positive traits, right? Well, he was despised at the time, just like the pro-Palestine protesters are, and there was an attempt to fucking take him down. And it was nefarious. And it was an underground, hidden, secret attempt, living in some Game of Thrones type-ass world where they're trying to off the main civil rights leader, right? Why would it be any different now? Why would it, all of a sudden did the deep state and the establishment and all these institutions, they all suddenly grew a conscience and realized, hey, some of these left-wing movements are actually good. No, they despise them. They fucking despise them. Of course they fucking despise them. Now, as we just discussed, sometimes they do good things. The FBI took down the KKK. Right now they're going after the housing cartel, which is fixing rent prices and screwing people over. There are good elements of it too, but we all know they infiltrate right-wing protests, left-wing protests, anything that deviates from the status quo. Anything that bucks the establishment in either direction. And I truly believe that's what's going on here. Now, look, if that's not the case, then my commentary would be the same as it was for the climate protesters who destroy a priceless painting, right? It's like, fucking grow up. Fucking grow up. You need to be intelligent about how you strategize in situations like this. You can't just be blind rage and everybody's the enemy, right? That's never going to work. You need to create allies, not enemies, when doing things like this. So that would be my commentary if I wasn't so fucking convinced that this is fake, that this is astroturfed, that this is the feds. So anyway, or look, here, I'll give you one more option at the end here, and we'll end on this. It's all possible it's right-wing infiltrators, right? Some right-wingers who infiltrated these groups and then got these people, yeah, let's go protest the Pride March. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That's possible too. Right-wing agent provocateurs or Fed agent provocateurs. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. By the way, I'm curious what you guys think of this. Because in my mind, I know people are going to call me crazy. They're going to say, you're just rationalizing or whatever. No, I'm against this. There's no doubt about it. But the question is, where does it come from? Is it sincere or is it fake? I lean on fake because it just seems so fucking stupid to me. I'm curious what you guys think. Put it in the comment section. Oh, that's it. That's the show, y'all. That's the show. I love y'all very much. You know the drill. You know the deal. Everybody do me a big favor. Please click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. You can support the show on Patreon. You could also tip on YouTube with the thanks button. Remember, I'm very reliant on you guys because I never talk to any advertisers, never do any ad reads or any goofy things like that. I believe in small dollar donations, building it from the ground up. I don't want any poor incentives for the show. So that's all, y'all. I love y'all very much, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.